All right, well, the stage is set for an absolute beauty. What a treat on Fox Footy this Sunday afternoon. Two of the best midfielders in the business, Crip and Steele, and into the middle we go.
Occasion Steele. In the meantime, the Blues go forward. Little one down, didn't handle it all that well on that occasion. Stocker, and now the ball out wide and lands in the hands of Owens.
Off to Sinclair, who carved the Blues up the last time these two teams played. Had 37 touches. Off to Marshall. Now Ross. Tidy delivery. Finds Gresham. Crouch comes cruising by. Delivers inside 50 to Membry.
Well, that's just textbook ball movement from one end of the ground to the other. The spoil at half-back, and then the way that they're able to deliver the ball down the outer side. Well, this near side, but right up almost against the boundary the whole way. They were forced to play a lot more inside last week, which is not the way that they've been playing their football this year. That suits them more.
Tim Membry averages almost 3 goals a game against the Blues. He's kicked 7 straight against them in their last 2 meetings. This for the opening shot of the day. It's across the face, and Wiedering belts it into the crowd.
We've already seen one of the areas that's going to challenge the Blues. They won the centre bounce, but then their ability to be able to defend the ground off the back of that. The Saints are top 4, taking the ball from D50 to forward 50.
Pitnet, Walsh, up through Akers, and Young combine. Ends with Akers, a little iffy kick out of the danger zone, running over the top of it. Motlop easily picked up here by Stocker against his old mob. Back inside, Kennedy read it brilliantly, calm. And Mackay at half-back.
Early first touch in there for Chincotta. Mackay back to Young. Blues will look to do lots of this today. Have to try and move that St.Kilda zone around. Wiedering. Now Newman.
Outside 5.
Without their 3 most creative half-backs in Sard and Williams and Doherty. Wiedering short on the half volley from McGovern. They force the turnover they were looking for. Membry delivers it inside 50. Philippou versus Young. Young's got some support on the deck. Flips it over the top. Kennedy's got to be quick. And St Kilda got exactly what they wanted there.
I was about to say exactly the same thing, Jason. That's exactly what they wanted. They stopped them from going to the outer side of the ground. Then they turned the ball over, and now they've been able to lock it back into their forward line.
Young.
And that's because of pressure. That's because players are picking up the cues really quickly, and they're prepared to do the necessary work.
Pitnet trying to get it towards the boundary there. Cherub. One comes out to Ross. Mason Wood able to send it high, been in great touch. Ward and Membry back into the side. We'll get a really good opportunity from 25 metres directly in front.
Jack Higgins just sat back on his backside behind play there. Just watch this behind play there. Newman, not much in it, just pushes him in the end. Jack just tries to act as...
Missed 4 weeks with that knee and played 1 in the VFL last week. This is his first senior game of the year. Tim Membry very much welcome back as one of their main hitters here, and he's offline to start.
That's a good start, albeit an inaccurate start for Membry, but 2 marks inside. They're attacking 50. That's a great sign from him.
McGovern with the kick in. Carlton picked their way through the St Kilda zone. Mackay will be the target again, as he so often is. Added that element a little bit more to his game this year, pushing up as the link target. Here's Chera. Game number 100 for Adam Chera this afternoon. Goes short to Hollands. Now Walsh.
The slow, deliberate build-up by Carlton, but difficult to move the ball against this St Kilda team.
1 errant kick, and it's a turnover. Walsh receives the handball from Chera. Now they get some overlap. Hollands can attack inside 50. Marshall in best position.
Holding.
The non-officiating umpire.
Josh!
Keeping an eye on Josh Battle.
You grabbed the back of his jumper. It doesn't matter how small it is. If you grab the back of the jumper, it's a free kick. Stand.
So Charlie Curnow with the opportunity to kick the first of the afternoon. .45 from set shots this season, from 45 out. And he misses as well.
Spoke about how hard, Tim, it is to score against the Saints. They've been conceding under 15 points a quarter, which is absolutely amazing. I think 67 is about their average this year.
I think we'll see a lot of what Carlton just tried to do then. It was slow, and then when they got the opportunity, it was fast.
Clark's kick not so good. Walsh now buys something. Gee, Curnow has been held a lot more there than I thought he was in the last one. Wilkie with a little outlet pass, and now Mason Wood on that favoured left side. Beautiful stroke of the footy from Wood, and Membry a long way from home. Wanting to go quickly here. It's great to watch. Opportunity now, Wanganeen-Milera. Kicks long and deep, and Marshall couldn't quite get there.
Already you can see when teams are winning it back in their defensive 50, the difference in the style of play they're trying to play. St Kilda really want to go quick, take the ball forward, take meterage as quick as possible. Carlton are more willing to build the ball up and try and pick their way through.
Pitted it against Owens. Ripped off the kick. Clark came through, found his boot, and found the goals. Hunter Clark pounces on that one, takes a half chance and kicks the opening goal.
The undersized Owens then, just a quick pick-up, working inside the contest, and you know, Michael Voss will be really disappointed in that. I mean, at that part of the ground, there's got to be a lot more aggression, a lot more concentration around that stoppage. Great to see a St Kilda midfielder, though, being able to pick up a goal early.
Perfect bounce here from umpire Meredith. Crouch. Jack Steele involved in that process as well. Membry got good push on the front of Young and almost cleared the space. In fact, he did, but he couldn't hold on. Kick out wide. Wood was up to defend, and now Hunter Clark just ran out of space. And the throw in half forward here for the Saints.
Just that effort on the far side from Wood, as minor as that may seem, just getting a fist in. You see the position now the Saints are able to defend the ground in.
Pin it at the tap. Quick release. Akers. It's Hewitt that got the clearance out.
Holding again.
Jack Silvani in front, earns the free kick.
Time on. Stand. Play on.
Walsh, such an important link man in this team. He's the provider of that outside run on the bounce for Mackay.
And one of the great things St Kilda's already been able to do in their forward line, and that is make sure that they bring the ball to ground, even if they're in a disadvantaged position. It's one of the things that Ross Lyon demands. They get the ball back to ground.
Akers, quick hands through, and Hollands now. Long, deep ball. Curnow caught behind. It was really well done by Battle. Silvani now. Right foot snap. Got it. Carlton get there first.
Well, just got the clearance there, Carlton. Put it to the goal front. Curnow competed at all levels, got it to ground. Silvani able to just stay around and be able to snap that around. They just created something there from nothing really there, Carlton. The tackle as well was just fantastic. Pressure forwards at the moment. They're a really hot topic.
Thanks, Jono. Chris Johnson, boundary side. Goal apiece. high stakes for both these teams this afternoon. Carlton can win this, they'll leapfrog the Saints and finish the round in second spot. If St Kilda can win it, they'll join the winner of Tuesday's Collingwood-Essendon game, a game clear on top at 5-1. Kick inside 50, beats Motlop. Akers comes in just a little high with that first attempt. Free kick, Hunter Clark. Once again, the run from behind. This time it's Hill. Towards half forward, looking for Membry. Wiedering over the top. Kennedy to Wiedering. Spreads it wide on the bounce. Akers can look up, can cut inside. Walsh. Now Chera. Not a great kick, it'll be cut off. Opportunity for the Saints to come back here through Ross. Contact. Advantage will be paid. This is Sinclair.
Sinclair, beautiful ball out in front of Gresham here. Gresham now, little ball forward. St Kilda with a lot of space. Membry's looking really promising up forward. He's told to go as he comes off the mark. Long, deep ball at the back. Couldn't quite get a quarter. Little knockdown here. Spills, free kick could have almost been paid to Burns. Mopped up. Eventually in the hands of Crouch. He gave it to Wood. And his ball was smothered.
Great defensive effort then by Carlton. I mean, that was great. They looked like they were at 6s and 7s then, but they're able to get back in numbers, defend stoically. Newman's a really good player. He's gone to Higgins. They've identified him as their most dangerous small forward.
Already fascinating tactical battle. Two very different styles. Fisher dribbles it outside 50. Important early touch for Honey. Beats Payton to the ball and delivers to Mackay. He wants to go. He's got Curnow down the wing. Kick shows a bit to Wilkie. And what a season Cal Wilkie's having. 20 intercept marks in his last 3 weeks, Nathan. He's become one of the elite defenders in the comp.
Yeah, absolutely. His ability to be able to win one-on-ones and come off and intercept, as you touched on, he's in career best form, coming off a career best game.
Played every game since debuting, 91st in a row. Remarkable for a young player to do that. Owens, Clark out wide. Carlton got it covering, although Wiedering got a very high bounce. He was able to reel it in. Kick down the line is not so good. Picked up wonderfully by Sinclair. Gee, it was a beautiful pickup. Now Hill goes back inside to Ross. Ross, a left footer, remember. Battle corralled by Cripps. Gets the ball away. It's an open area here for the Blues to attack if they want to go quick now. McGovern decides he does. Able to step around the man on the mark. Long ball. Charlie Curnow at the back. The meat and the sandwich did wonderfully well. Can he keep going? Silvani's in the pocket. He's got him. Curnow as he out of bounds on the full. May well be out of bounds on the full. It is.
And the opportunity is lost for the Blues as Battle gives it to Brad Hill. That kick was intended for Butler. It's cut off by Chera. Once again, the Blues will look to change angles. Kennedy can go laterally to Akers or look for an option inside 50. He chooses that. It's Mackay. Gets separation.
Awesome signs early for the Blues. I loved, you know,
and he dishes it off to Hewitt.
Didn't quite get the opportunity on the far side, but fundamentally the pressure that they were able to put on and create multiple turnovers resulted in an open forward line, an opportunity here.
Now to Silvani from outside 50. Brian, you're shaking your head, and I can understand why.
Yeah, I just didn't think Silvani was any better chance from that position than he was himself. In fact, I didn't think Silvani had the distance in him.
Had he gone to a left footer, that would have been okay, but he went to a right footer too, which sort of cramped the angle. But one of the things that Ross Lyon will be really disappointed in right now is the uncontested marks. Michael Voss will be very happy with this. 15-8 Carlton's way, so they're still able to move the ball at will at the moment.
At the back, Kennedy. Clark just kept it rolling. Wiedering. Tiny little hand right in front of the interchange bench here. As you can see, that'll be a deliberate ball, says Simon Meredith.
On the line, put on the line, please. On the line. Come around, yep. Play on!
So Mitch Owens told to go. Does and sends it long. Membry once again. Wiedering trying to get him under the footy in an illegal manner. Welsh just looks like he's building. Cripps. Down the line. Mackay's got the height.
Around the ball, they're doing really well, Carlton. Walsh is up to 7. Chera's up to 6. Here's that deliberate again.
Came off Hunter Clark last.
I think he might have been a little bit unlucky there.
Young in the ruck against Owens, who's so agile at ground level. What an exciting prospect he is. Hill gets good penetration on the kick. Cordy working on Kennedy. And a change in role at the moment for Matt Kennedy and Chera at times. Tim without Sam Doherty, without Adam Saad, and without Zach Williams this year, they're having to shuffle the magnets a little.
They're finding themselves in areas of the ground that they're not that much familiar with as defensive players, but at the moment everything's holding up pretty well for Carlton.
Clark, who started really well, kick inside, not to great advantage, but they'll get a stoppage down there. Looking to go 5-1, the Saints, which is exactly where they were last year after their 6th rounds. See if they can get that done here today. Huge crowd in, as you can see from that shot. St Kilda forward end, Young defensively to the boundary line.
Such an important part of this game too, the midfield matchup and the contested possession. Right now Carlton 22, St Kilda 15, so they're shading them in some really key areas.
The thing about St Kilda this year, it seems that just about every player has got better under Ross Lyon in some way, shape or form. There's Ross, which improves the team dramatically, I reckon, Nath, when they all improve 5%.
Yeah, I think when you've got clarity on your role and it's very specific to your skill set, and that works in harmony across all 18 players on the ground, makes everyone shine.
So some repeat stoppages here for the Blues to navigate in their defensive 50. Young received the handball from Hewitt, and Ross makes sure they've got another one to navigate.
This is that pressure that builds. The more you can keep the ball at this part of the ground for St Kilda, the more the pressure builds on the Carlton defence, the more likelihood that they'll make a mistake at some stage if you can keep the ball at this end.
This takes one little error, doesn't it, for a shot at goal. Young's tap might sit up here for Walsh. Receives a shepherd from Cowan. Thinks about retreating and then goes down the line with his left. Mackay the get-out kick again. And Howard got over his shoulder. This role that Harry Mackay's playing, pushing up the ground to basically be a roaming centre-half forward, just so critical. Chincotta. Chera squeezes through some traffic. Motlop's got to go here for the Blues. Did well, got it to ground. That's where the numbers were for Carlton. And Kennedy wins a free kick. He's got Fisher out. Heads there now. Curnow over the top if he wants him. Will go longer and deeper. Mackay's going to fly against a couple. It'll get to the back. St Kilda got some numbers. Battle tried to flip it to Clark. Owens. And Burns receives for the Saints.
In one side out the other. Saints have got some numbers on the run here. The overlap is good from Gresham. Gresham's a good user, but that's not a great example of his good use. In fact, it was really sloppy.
And Carlton really asking some questions of the St Kilda defence and the way they're defending the ground at the moment. Just right off the side of his boot there, Gresham, as BT said, one of the better kicks in the game.
Ross Lyon just wanting to have a chat with Gresham straight onto the phone. Here's Ross. Clark. Had 7 touches already, Clark, as Cripps turns it back inside. Little ball here, finds Chincotta. Kennedy now, the transfer complete. What can Wiedering find? Carlton players have pushed out wide to the boundary line and leave their men there, but they're not going to get any further than this. Quickly into transition defence are the Saints.
Hollands. Smack bang centre wing, City side of the ground. Blues by point. Packer plays again off the hands of Marshall. Howard being harassed by Mackay. Durden lays a tackle. Hewitt emerges with the football. Mackay off to Honey. Dribbling kick towards the goal square. And Durden gets Stocker over the line, his former Carlton teammate.
And we know how important Wilkie is to the St Kilda defence. He hasn't taken a mark, nor obviously an intercept mark in this first quarter. So Carlton have been able to find a way around him.
Marshall took the risk, grabbed the footy. Little bit of a nudge, but umpire said it was okay. Owens over the top and immediately into the hands of Cordy here. So the Saints looking full of run. When they go forward, they are a line right across the ground. They lose possession on this occasion. Kennedy got it to Hewitt. Holland through the tackle. Fisher there as well. And that'll be a down the field free. That'll be a kick at goal here for Mackay, and he'll certainly have the wheels to get it from there.
Downfield free kick anyway. Dougal, you're right on it.
It's an important point you made before, Tim, about Wilkie not being able to get involved with mark and intercepting. I think primarily it's off the back of Mackay and Curnow playing really isolated rather than running to the same areas, really isolating and segmenting the St Kilda defence, not allowing them to come off and intercept.
50% set shot of this year, as you can see from those stats, as Mackay from 45. Crowd out of their seats, no problems at all.
There was some really good play there from Cincotta before too. He kept his eye on his opponent. He had the other eye on the ball coming forward. He had to come off his opponent. He intercepted the ball, and that's where the rebound started for Carlton. Just watch again. Cincotta there picked the ball up off the ground. The first game, that was his handball that set this ball in motion from halfback for Carlton and gave them the opportunity to get the ball down to Harry Mackay. But he actually had his eye on his opponent. He had the eye on the ball that was coming towards him. He took off from his direct opponent, intercepted, and that's great play.
Great decision-making from the first game up. Cripps taken by Marshall. Cincotta versus Hill. Burns, Cincotta goes again. Here is Hill. Off to Ross. Runs through the front of the square. Pins the ears back. Drills it deep towards the pocket for Membry. Umpire says throw it in.
As he's hit the ground, the ball spills out. Yeah. Juggled it over the line.
I'm not sure he juggled it, though.
It's either a mark or out of bounds on the full, is it not?
Because I don't think he juggled it, Tim.
I thought it was one grab. There it is. And then he's saying he dropped the ball.
Yeah, he didn't say he paid the mark.
Pitternet in the ruck against Cordy. Hewitt. Back towards the middle of the ground. Durden and Curnow involved. Here's Charlie Curnow. Feeds to the outside runner. Fisher weaves through, needs an option. It's a 2-on-2. Has got the penetration to get to Hollands almost. Swooping on it now is Curnow. He'll bend it goalward. Honey can run onto it. Will it sit for him? Honey, Hollands. Well done, Howard. Still alive for the Blues. Honey, Fisher, bends goalward. Well done, Wanganeen-Milera.
See, they've been good, Carlton. They've been able to get some real speed in the ball from the mid part of the ground. And as I said before, they're really testing this St Kilda defence. They can't get settled. They're constantly changing the angles.
Crouch. He's going to go short. Hung on to the ball a little longer than he wanted to. And now as a result, Filippo finds himself in a little bit of trouble and gives away the free. Akers. Wobbly old ball without a lot of care or thought. Wanganeen-Milera. Quickly back to his feet. Stocker. Beautiful ball. Inside to Crouch. Wanganeen-Milera again to Gresham. Got the outside run here. Filippo back over the top to Gresham. Gresham could have gone for goal himself. Unselfishly saw two on the lead. One of those, Marshall. So we're going to kick the drop punt. Is Rowan Marshall. Yet to kick a goal this year. Coming off 25 touches of the footy last week. An absolute vital player for the Saints. Kicks only 30 metres. Pretty good. Couple of goals each here in this.
Wanganeen-Milera there, just beautiful use off half back. I touched on it earlier in the call. The Saints are top four at taking the ball end to end. And this is a crisp, beautiful piece of play. And a beautiful finish from Marshall. Reward for effort. The Blues, though, in that passage of play had plenty of chances. The Saints will continue to come at you.
2 goals apiece. This game living up to early expectations. Cripps hunted himself, bounces off Pitternet. Will deliver it inside 50. Curnow gets to the front. Holding Carlton. Motlop thought about taking the advantage, which wasn't going to be much of one.
Clear out, Harry, clear out, please. Time back on.
Getting those clean clearance breaks like they just got then, coming straight out the front like that, that's got to make every defensive player in the competition nervous when you're one-on-one against Charlie Curnow. What do you do? I mean, he jumped early, got great stretch.
Blues have to take their chances this afternoon, and Charlie does.
What was that average score against St Kilda per quarter, BT? Was it 15 points? 15 points, so they're above average right now, Carlton. It's a good start.
This is why there's such a heightened value on centre bounce clearances, particularly for the Blues. When it's a 6-on-6 inside 50 with the names they've got up there, any defender will panic in that situation, and Curnow reward for effort.
And I've got to say, Battle does look a little uncomfortable on Curnow, doesn't he, at the moment?
I don't blame him.
No. He's one of the, if not the best forward in the game. Along with Jeremy Cameron, I guess.
Time back on.
So Gresham just enticing Marshall to lead wide. High footy for Marshall. Membry waits down at the back. Higgins. McGovern couldn't quite get a handle on it. Membry now to tidy things up. Crouch to Ward on the left boot. Just raining goals at the moment. 6 of them kicked in this game already. Really good knowledge to know that he was on the left, and Crouch, I think it was, that got the handball to him, knowing that. He's in great touch at the moment, Mason Wood. His 5th goal of the year.
Sorry, but he's become a real player, hasn't he? An AFL player now. Took a long time to get there, but right now he's a bona fide player. Here's that kick into the contest. Now, this is what St Kilda want. They just want to make sure they bring it to ground. Owens did a great job there. Higgins hasn't touched a lot of the ball, just got one out. And then Membry, who's been really good in this first quarter of football, just being able to shovel the ball back again, and Woods finishing off. So that's a great reply for St Kilda.
11th year in the system for Mason Wood. 100th game next week. Chera put the head down, gritted the teeth, got it to Hewitt, to Walsh. Swings it wide to Akers, back to Hewitt. Into the path of Chera. Clark to try and put some pressure on. Chera's kick towards Mackay. Couldn't control it. Opens a door for the Saints. The Blues arrive in number. And gang tackle.
And that's the difference in the mentality. They would have been drilling that home all week, and then you see it in action. Super impressive for Michael Voss.
Ben Patton just crunched.
Marshall.
Jack,
still inbounds. Wood to Gresham. Can they make something happen here, the Saints? Hill, they can. Out of that really tight stoppage. Higgins, Kennedy and Walsh. Now Akers, the sidestep good. Hewitt to tidy up. Little one, I think it might have been Kennedy. He got boot on ball.
Stand.
And now Walsh really building in this game. Sam Walsh.
Quarter.
Yeah, 12 touches already, Jonesy, he's had. McGovern. Wiedering.
Switch is on for the Blues. One of the few times this afternoon they've got a bit of time, but look at the numbers back for St Kilda. They're going to have to work their way through it. Young. Silvani and Curnow will be in this contest. Charlie stays off the back, dribbles at goal. Does he get the bounce? Not quite.
Leading into this game, we talked about how important it was going to be to win the contested possession. St Kilda, the #1 team in the competition for contested ball. Right now, they're being nutted, though, by Carlton, 41-27. So that would have been a huge area of concentration for the Blues. So they've been able to deliver in this first term.
Memory, it almost looked pre-organised for the Saints to be back in such great numbers that you mentioned then, Jason. I wonder whether 2 minutes to go. Durden, little left foot bind, back inside. Curnow couldn't quite run under it. That's Ed Curnow's really favouring that right shoulder at the moment when he runs as well. Owens. Patton down the line. Membry, both hands on it, so there's a minute to go in the quarter now. Working hard to get back was Steele. Sends it high. Marshall in front. From the side, McGovern. Through traffic, Higgins. Got the handball to Gresham. Funny old left foot, looked a bit awkward and was.
Oh, he had more time. How good has Membry been on his return too? 7 disposals, 4 marks. He's been a handful for the Carlton defenders. It looks like Newman may have gone to him now.
It was heart and stuff mouth for Mitch McGovern when that mark was spilt. Fortunately, the shot from Gresham missed, and McGovern has the kick in to Young. Final minute of the opening term.
Stay out, Nick.
Really interesting tactical battle between these two teams. It's the Blues by 2 points. Pitternet slaps it over the back. Crouch beat Curnow to it. Durden swoops onto it. Walsh tries to keep it going. Chera will receive now. Blues are out through the middle of the ground. Hewitt, Mackay's got some space. Will he wheel round and go? He's got Hollands wide open inside 50, tracking back towards the goal square. Didn't spot him. Instead, he goes to Silvani with 3 to beat. And the moment is lost.
He's also had Charlie Curnow on as well for quite a while.
How hard did he work to run into that space?
Oh, he ran from one side to the other, Tim. He deserved it. Siren sounds. Intriguing quarter of football. 3 goals kicked by each side in it. Fantastic to watch. Full house in here right now. And we've got a ripper for you. It's the Blues by 2 at quarter time.
Feet on the ball and then get it into these one-on-ones is exposing that St Kilda defence.
Walsh has been outstanding in the first quarter, had 14 touches and has been everywhere. Uncontested possession, 9 of those. You know, Ross Lyon doesn't like somebody like a Walsh just running free and being able to dictate terms. It'll be interesting to see how the afternoon pans out for him.
Walsh, Hewitt and Chera with 35 touches between them in that first term.
Umpire Meredith to get us underway. Marshall. Over the middle, Cripps. Akers. Silvani at the back. Curnow in front. Almost. Sinclair, lovely hands. Stocker. Just banged it high. Kennedy, wonderful trap in the end. Cripps had a clear path. Almost. Fisher.
Holding Carlton.
So against Wood. Go to Chera.
Zach, straight to him, please. Come back on. We're out. 10.
So Kennedy's got Akers wide if he wants him, and Akers almost within range there, isn't he?
Oh, he should kick it to Akers, even though he's on an angle, but...
Gee, I just wonder about that. It was lucky in the end. It got over the top of Cripps. It wasn't meant for him. And Akers a little disappointed, I would think, as well, but in the end, they end up with something better. Saw Paddy Cripps in the practice area having shots from this very position. Nothing outside left goalpost is going to come back. 0-6 for the year for Paddy Cripps.
It's been a big difference, hasn't it? His first 5 games last year, he kicked 10 goals too when he hit the scoreboard, blasting out the front of stoppages. Just hasn't quite been able to find his range so far in 2023. Sinclair penetrating kick back towards the wing. Wiedering at the back, Marshall at the front, just bounces it forward to a one-on-one. Young's got a couple of metres here on court. He will get there first. Committed the body. It worked for McGovern. Handball partly smothered, picked off. Opportunity, bounces off Hill. McGovern piles in. Cowan, Hewitt, Chera. Blues midfield is getting plenty of it. Wiedering spreads it for Akers. Can go short to Fisher. Kennedy calls for it back inside. Fisher looking down the line. He's got Akers and/or Cripps. Cripps will take it for his 9th touch.
You reckon they've got this slow-fast ratio right here, Tim, in terms of Carlton's movement?
I think they have. As soon as they get into the middle part of the ground, they're trying to get it as quickly as they possibly can in their attacking 50.
So the Saints, Burns finds an opportunity with Filippo. Immediately onto the left. Young. Wood kept it alive wonderfully well to Butler. Slung in the tackle. And incorrect disposal, said the ump. Got one in the ribs. Mason Wood.
Cripps has had a really fast start to this second term.
That doesn't look good for Mason Wood.
Cowan, give and go from Fisher. We'll hear more from John O. We'll keep an eye on him. Boundary side. There's a turnover. This could be punishing for the Blues. Burns' kick isn't great towards the pocket. Might still be okay for Butler. He's got Young to deal with. Looks back inside. Cordy's the target. Chera will arrive.
I think maybe just winded is the verdict with Mason Wood.
Chera will go short to Kennedy. Now Akers.
Yeah, he brushed off the trainer straight away, said I'm all good to go, and ran straight back out there again, so he's all good.
Thanks, Jono. Akers gets underneath it a little. Might work for Pitternet, though. Completes the mark. Just inside the line. He retreats to Kennedy. Wiedering setting up for the switch on the far side. Hollands will be the next link in the chain if he wants to go there, which he does. He'll look up and only have Curnow of the Ed variety down the line.
Didn't get enough of their runners from the middle to get across, Jace. That little one. So the risky ball back inside has been cut off wonderfully well by Higgins. The flow of play here with Steele. He goes out wide to Butler. Butler can take his time. This time he tries to be a little too unselfish. Got over the back. Wood couldn't read it either. Thought he was within his rights to probably go for home on that occasion.
So they should have done more with that opportunity. They had the Carlton defence scrambled then.
There's a much better defensive effort from the Saints, so all their forwards up in front of the footy forced Carlton to try and pick one off, create the intercept and the opportunity to go back inside 50.
Butler swept in. McGovern picked up the football, immediately tackled.
Jack Sinclair, such an important player for St Kilda off half-back for his running. Ed Curnow's doing a defensive job on him too.
You rucking? Thanks.
As we mentioned earlier, he carved up the Blues off half-back last year, but they're putting some time into him this time. Cripps, Chera, Akers clears the zone. 3-on-3. Marshall up in front. Fisher tried to feed the handball through traffic. Wanganeen-Milera. Hill. Stocker. Drives towards the top of the square. Filippo will get over the back. Wiedering there to tidy it up, and he can use Newman on the way out.
So Newman got multiple options in the end. It was cut off, and Sinclair worked the angle better than anyone. Little ball back inside here as well to Ross.
That's why Sinclair is one of the premier halfbacks in the AFL. His ability to be able to defend there and intercept.
Ross now pops it on the head. Big fly over the back. Butler off the front, left foot snap. As easy as you like.
You will not see a better crumb than that.
He's a pro, isn't he?
It was interesting the way that Seb Ross actually signalled to the players further down the ground what to do there.
What do you think he was saying?
I think he was trying to narrow where the concentration of St Kilda players were so that the kick was going to go into a contest. If we don't mark the ball there, we've got good representation at ground level.
That goal was created from this. Sinclair's ability to dig in and defend and turn defence into offence. They send it back in, and you will not see a better crumb than that. As clean as a whistle.
No defensive pressure on Dan Butler at all. He gives Saints the lead. Over the head of Hewitt. Cripps now tracks it back on the deck. Feeds it wide. Fisher's got a man even wider. It's Ed Curnow. He's got Silvani in the pocket. Goes towards Charlie Curnow in a wrestle at the top of the square. It's been an issue for the St Kilda defence so far this afternoon.
It's been a massive issue when they've been caught out one-on-one, the defenders.
After the kick, Clear out, please, Cal.
Charlie looks like he's going to step around on the left.
Back with me, Callum. Back with me.
For the quick response.
We need to work out how did Ed Curnow get out here on his own. It was, I think Sinclair let him go. Yeah, I think he said, okay, well, I'm going to go and defend in the defensive part of the ground there. But as soon as the ball was thrown up, then Curnow actually spat out into the space out here. Sinclair didn't go with him. We'll keep an eye on it, this centre bounce, see what he exactly does. He's such a hard player to match up against one-on-one if you don't get any help over the top. And that's why they need to get the ball there as quickly as they can, Carlton, too.
Cripps. Stolen by Clark. Very, very wide ball. Kennedy just carefully didn't take it over the boundary line, but that's where he wanted to go, make no mistake. Dan Butler's just such a little professional, isn't he? He knows exactly what's required of him in the exact position. It's just fantastic to watch.
Premiership play with the Tigers, of course. Pitternet down to Cripps. Clark picks up the football, gets the extraction. Wood bounces it inside 50, beats one, doesn't beat Butler. He dribbles it goalward and got another. Right on cue.
What I love about that is the concentration of those St Kilda players. Like, they all were still with their head in the game, even though the ball was at that stoppage. They led their direct Carlton defender to the ball. So clean with the ball, though, too. Then Butler again at ground level. And a great pick up there by Seb Ross in the quick handball.
Beautiful, clean hands and opportunistic. You touched on it, BT. Just, he's got his little niche down there.
Hasn't he ever? And what about that? He wouldn't fit a cigarette paper between that and the goalpost.
Every one of those St Kilda players led their direct opponent to the ball, though, didn't they?
Amazing. Not sure about the haircut. Pitternet, Cripps out the back door, wanting Hewitt to do some work here. Sitting on him was Crouch.
Geez, '1 clearance player in the competition, Paddy Cripps. He's always dangerous around the ball, particularly at these centre bounces, getting first hands on the ball. There's 6-4 from the centre bounce clearance, Carlton. There he goes again.
Does he know something else that no other player in the comp knows, and that is where to go? He is absolutely amazing. Charlie Curnow might get the 50 here. Oh, boy. So he'll line up for his third goal. Josh Battle is having just that. Forces him up the ground here, gets him to take a mark almost on the wing, and then just that accident into a little bump in the end. Around the corner goes Charlie Curnow. High ball, straight ball. Charlie's got 3. So I just wonder what's going through Battle's head now, psychologically. He looked a little nervy or uncertain at the start of the game, and now Charlie Curnow, one of the best forwards in the comp, has 3 goals etched next to his name. I wonder what he's thinking right now.
Well, Charlie's got such great athleticism, though, too. It's not just the work inside 50, it's the work that he can do further up the ground. Here's the contest. He fights really hard for that front position. Look, there's
not much in that.
There's not a lot in that at all. I think Charlie felt the gentle touch of the hand in the back and then pushed himself forward.
Do you agree with it or not?
No,
I don't.
Right, thank you. two very gruff no's there, Jace.
4 lead changes in 6 minutes. Goal for goal at Marvel Stadium. Sinclair receives from Owens, but his kick's going to be picked off. Chera having a great first half. Drives it low and flat inside 50. And Battle, a much-needed grab. Great for his confidence. He goes short to Hill. Shows a bit of it. Steele, despite the pressure from Cripps.
Play on.
Called to go. Well done, Patrick Cripps. Stuck to the task. Kicks it inside 50. They'll blow the roof off if they pay insufficient intent here. They don't.
So that was Cripps' 8th possession this quarter. Walsh 0 this quarter.
Walsh 0, and no pun intended, but Jack Steele, he looks a bit rusty, doesn't he? No pun intended.
There has to be. You has to have said that deliberately.
Claim it.
Wow, Patrick Cripps. And again, and he's taken high.
He has taken over the clearances this second quarter, Paddy Cripps.
Amazing, just footy IQ. Feel where the ball's going to go. Going to have to kick it outside 50, and I tell you what, of the 45-odd thousand people that are in here at the moment, they will blow the roof off if he kicks this. Superb quarter of football, superb game from this man so far. To put the Blues up by 9. Hangs it out to the right.
That's not the best part of his game. He's kicking for goal, but there is so much else that he does absolutely magnificently. He's become the clearance beast in this second quarter, that hands on ball first, giving Carlton drive. 7 behinds without a goal now this season for Patrick Cripps, as Wanganeen-Milera's kick is perfect to Cordy. Closing on the midway point of this second term. It's the Blues by 4 points. Cordy goes looking for Phillippo. Wiedering up, crouched down, handball missed the target. Walsh involved there. Smothered off the boot of Hollands, came back to him. St Kilda win the little scrimmage. Phillippo, Gresham, Steele. Lovely pick up and give back to Gresham. Crouch pops it over the top for Burns. He's taken down and the tackle affected the kick. Owens does likewise to Young. Good contest.
Oh, the defensive intent cannot be questioned from the Blues. They're forwards rolling up to get back into play, and their mids chasing and tackling and repeat efforts. It's inspiring stuff for the Blues.
High intensity game, 10 goals kicked in it. Cordy got a hand to it. Hewitt deliberately along the ground of Cripps. Was thoughtful. Walsh. Cripps combine again. Little kick was smothered, but the mark has not been paid. In fact, the free kick has to Hollands. So Ollie Hollands looking to switch here. Does to Cowan. Couple of sloppy kicks there. Chera tidies that up now to Wiedering. Wiedering to Akers. Akers can take a few metres here. Is cut off though. Back inside to Walsh. I think his first touch so far of the quarter.
Goes short to Chera. Not the required distance. Back inside. Blues looking to work the angles in the back half here. Akers.
This hasn't worked for them, Jace, in the first quarter and the second quarter. They've both turned the ball over when they've tried to just chip this ball around. Just no margin for error, is there, Jono? Should do that and it can come back with interest.
They're happy to concede St Kilda. They're allowing them to take those kicks at that part of the ground. Gives them plenty of time to set up in the formation they want behind the ball.
And they now look to spread their structure a little laterally to give Stocker some options. Back to the near wing for Steele. He thought about a 45 kick inside. Well done, Silvani. Down the line for Mackay, and that'll allow the Blues to hold up. Honey streams inside 50. Mackay's kick, ill-directed. This wasn't the right option. Straight to Wilkie.
Wow, that was a brain fade. The only one he had on really was Honey. Didn't even seem to glance at him. Beautiful pick up off his toe by Burns and goes back to battle. Wanganeen-Milera, half back. So just a little composure here from the Saints, just starting to get away from them a little. Marshall. Butler bursting. Higgins had to wait for him to go past. Went long, direct and fast to Membry. Superb stuff from the Saints. You talk about slow, fast, weren't they?
That's exactly right. Slow, fast, and then fast again, and fast, slow, and then fast again. They're mixing it up, the Saints.
Membry around the corner. What a return he's having.
He's probably been ready, you know, like maybe a couple of weeks almost, Membry, to come back. So they've had the luxury, because they've been winning, and making sure that he's absolutely cherry ripe when he comes back and plays. And he's been super in the first half. Membry, probably their best player in the first quarter. He's up to 8 disposals, had 7 in the first quarter, but he's already had 3 shots at goal too. Butler there just bursting from that stoppage. Great forward handball, and Higgins just buying enough time for Membry to get out the back. That's a nice deep kick. Plenty of penetration in that kick.
Saints back in front. Biggest margin of the game, 8 points. It's been a ripper. Walsh received from Chera. Gives it to Kennedy. Drives it long inside 50. Silvani and Mackay there for the Blues. Silvani couldn't quite bring it down. Motlop front and centre. Gives a handball. Was not on the same page as Durden. Swooping in was Honey. Ricochets back to Motlop. He feeds to Walsh. Now to Fisher. Sells the dummy. Back onto his right. Just popped it up a little much. Hunter Clark and 50. So the Blues going to have to push back in number now. Clark up to the middle of the ground. Steps inside Walsh. Spears it low towards Membry again. Off hands. Cincotta lost his footing slightly. Manages to collect Butler in the tackle. Cowan, can he stick the tackle on Cordy? He can. Ball will spill out. Cincotta. Fisher goes wide. Mackay with a couple to beat, but it sits.
Had to go backwards. Wasn't confident enough to go around the corner, so probably a good decision in the end. Just to take the foot off the gas momentarily. Walsh, beautiful kick to Silvani. Silvani waits, gives a few seconds for the Blues to get forward of the footy here. Silvani looking for Pitnet, never quite got there. Howard wants to go. They've loaded up through the middle here. Plenty of player support for Sinclair. Touch and go, little footy over the top. Nice ball to Ross. He too wants to go. Bit of a wobbler, but it does the job. Really good awareness in the middle of when to go and when to stay, and Filippo will have the resultant shot.
I think that's the exact difference in the game right there, BT, is the team's ability and awareness to understand the state of the game and the position on the field and what's just unfolded and what decision they can make. Saints very good in that phase of play.
So Filippo very close, far too close to the man on the mark, and Hewitt. Complete mess up there. And now the Blues pounce on the footy, but it's not done with yet for the Saints.
You'll love Gresham too. He had probably the quietest game he's ever had last weekend against Collingwood. He's really fired up today. He's been busy, a lot of pressure at ground level in the forward line.
Gresham, Butler and Sinclair all looking dangerous. Throw Higgins in there as well, those small forwards.
Well, Butler's had 5 ground level balls in the attacking 50 in this quarter alone, so he's been super busy.
Blues light on for small defenders. Akers' kick will come back.
Well, that's a really good point you make. I mean, that's one of the things they would have been talking about during the week. Okay, you guys, you've got to be able to feast on what's going to be a second-string Carlton defence today, particularly at ground level.
Stocker sets it up. Filippo goes to ground. Here's Higgins. We talk about their crummers. Wiedering took him down, stopped him dead in his tracks. Cincotta's handball just floated a little for Walsh. Gresham emerged with it, pops it back. Steele bends it goalwards across the face. It's still there for Burns. Couldn't quite. Saints looking dangerous.
Great effort by Steele.
They do look dangerous at ground level.
Yeah, we put such a value on Crummers front and centre to kick goals, but don't underestimate the value of it from a defensive point of view. Their ability to be able to lock the ball inside 50. That's the first layer of defence.
Great Sunday afternoon footy this is. Mackay just lost sight of the footy then. Mason Wood tries to keep it alive and give him another chance. And that is out of bounds on the full, or it should be. And Wiedering.
Stand.
So just looking a little perplexed at the moment, the Blues. Uncertain about whether they should move it, settle it. Gone for the slow play. Walsh just offers a little one along the boundary. Let's see how they play it from here.
Yeah, it feels like a big 4 minutes, doesn't it? They're just hanging in at the moment, Carlton.
Well, they've got good representation down the line, so I reckon they need to go there, but they're going to switch.
It's an aggressive switch to Newman. This might work for them. Next link in the chain. They've got to get their runners across. That's the issue. Akers, Chincotta, Newman. And that'll work for Ed Curnow. You can see the St Kilda numbers flooding back across your screen. Good kick down the line from Curnow, finds Silvani. Next kick really important now, because you know if the Saints get on the end of it, they'll turn it over and punish in the other direction. Silvani goes deep towards the pocket. Mackay gets his hands to it. Front and centre opportunity there for the Blues. Motlop tries to get through. Owens can't do so.
Just think that shot you was talking about then, Jace, was the organisation, Nathan, of St Kilda in numbers coming with the footy.
It's been a highlight for them all year.
Extremely well organised. They looked fantastic. Getting back, really heavily structured, but done on the run. Newman's kick not great.
Harry, keep going.
The real challenge for the Blues is, I don't think we should get too hung up on it, is how fast or slow they move the footy, but how much territory they can actually take off the Saints when they have the ball in hand.
And there's a real contrast in methodologies too. Carlton are looking for their big talls in Mackay and also Curnow. St Kilda happy to go to a spot in their forward line, make sure they get a contest, but then they get that great representation at ground level.
6 lead changes in this game so far. St Kilda by 3 points. Pittonet out the back door to Chera. Chera able to get good purchase to go forward. Mackay, both hands on it, couldn't wheel it off. Out of the back is Durden. Little right foot snap under the smothering attempt. Blues back in front.
Well, it's the first goal that they've got from one of their small crummers this afternoon, so that's a great sign. Parked at the right spot, right at the feet of Mackay.
Goals in the match. The biggest margin this has been 8 points.
We touched on it in the pre-game, didn't we, that finding other avenues to goal was going to come from their ability to put front and centre pressure on Crum, and in this case finish, take your opportunity. I think how much better Carlton look when they go more direct and quick with the ball.
Hewitt in the middle of the ground's played a big first half, as is Chera, as is this man Cripps, who receives from Pittonet, floats towards half forward. Durden, well done, Stocker, wins it on the deck, gives it to Hill. Now Clark, he looks inboard, spears a kick on the bounce. Kennedy read it well, had to wait and be patient. Pittonet, look out, Newman, had to be quick and was. Chincotta, Chera. Not to the advantage of the forward on that occasion. Silvani caught behind. Well done, Patton.
So they're getting the 2-minute sign on the bench, both teams here, but they are not taking the foot off the gas. Cripps, a double fake, back to Newman. He's a good kick. Mackay strong, Jukish mark. So after it looked like St Kilda we're really starting to get on top, the Blues have come back and won the last 3 or 4 minutes.
And that's a great turnover. I mean, that is a critical turnover of that part of the ground too. And just better ball use on the way back.
This for the biggest margin in the game of 9 points.
BT, has he actually settled on a routine when he goes to kick the ball?
It looked short in its run-up. It looked to lack a little bit of confidence. And I just reckon they can kick the ball so many different ways these days, Tim. Around the corner, drop punt running straight. They're actually not sure what they should be spending the time on.
Wood's kick goes wide. Chera gets it away from Ross and out of bounds.
Because it certainly didn't look to me like he'd repeated that thousands of times.
It didn't look like a rehearsed action, did it?
Huge dominance in the contested possession.
They're smashing them, aren't they?
Smashing them.
80 to 50 at this stage.
Ricochets off Pitternet. Owens at the back. A minute to play in the first half. This ball in a dangerous position for both sides. It's Wood that gets it forward for St Kilda. Membry comes at it, beats Cowan, brings it inside. 2-on-1, 3-on-1 for the Blues. They've got good numbers here. It's Akers. Swings it wide. Durden now getting involved. They need some more from their crummers. That's a really bold, dangerous kick. It might work for Chincotta. He's got Hollands wide open on the wing at the bottom of your screen. Heads in the other direction. Mackay with 30 seconds to play. Can they manoeuvre it into a position where they can get a shot? Durden next in the chain. Pitternet, Curnow, Cripps, all marking targets inside 50. Low and flat to Akers, who is a thumping kick. He'll wheel and go with 10 seconds left. Attacks the goal. Silvani, big fly over the top from Wood. Will it be paid? It will.
Back to the 9. Back to the 9.
Wonderful first half of football at Marvel Stadium.
Well, a game that is living up to all the hype. It is the Blues by 4 points over St Kilda, and it is
game sense of how to win.
I like that Wilkie matchup better on Charlie than in the battle line.
All right, let's head back to Marvel Stadium. Third quarter action about to begin.
Stadium. Marshall wins that tap. Ross shovels it out in the Sinclair direction. It's toe poked forward. Clark beats Curnow to the football. Wood will get there first. Hollands closing on him. Stands, delivers and finds Ross. Saints away through the middle of the ground. Little chip kick was good. Butler took it low down.
Stand.
Butler, Gresham, Higgins all looking dangerous for the Saints. This is Crouch. Chips over the top. There is Higgins, not quite. Cowan, loose handball. Gresham gets on the end of it and punishes him.
That was brilliant, wasn't it? The way they just picked their way through them with, they're all short kicks. You know, they barely went 15 metres each of those kicks. Even the last one into the 50 to Jack Higgins actually didn't hit the mark, but there was enough St Kilda players that were aware around the contest as to what was happening. We talked about this too, about their ground level balls, that how smart these ground level players, Butler, Higgins and also Gresham, have been in the first half.
It was methodical movement down the field that created that opportunity. Higgins' little fumble resulted in a really opportunistic goal from Gresham. We touched on it a couple of times in the call. He's looked super dangerous today.
Leads all St Kilda players with possessions. Number 14 for Gresham. Wide again. Got to defend here. McGovern does well. Chincotta. Handball over the top, and the Blues out of trouble momentarily anyway. Silvani's got the battle with Wilkie. Did well. Might have been a high-ish tackle there. Umpire said no. Silvani to go again with a high ball. Motlop went early. Curnow was bundled out of the way. Battles got it, but he nailed him in the tackle. This allowed Motlop to pick up the loose ball. He thought about the goal. He sent it beautifully to Chera. He follows through with the goal. Brilliant thinking from Motlop. Goal for goal, it has been over the last 9 goals in this game. Kicks the goal in his 100th game. Chera. was really good to keep it alive from the Blues' pressure. And Motlop, he really wanted to kick a goal. He's desperate to kick a goal in the game, but he just knew there was something better on offer, didn't he?
He did, and that was Sinclair that he was manned up against. Sinclair's gone into the centre bounce again.
Pitterneck got the tap. Through comes Cripps. Pressure came from Crouch, affected the handball. Ball spills out only momentarily. Now it pops out Walsh. Cincotta. Hollins. Blues win that scrimmage. To half forward. Mackay strains to get there. Big collision at ground level, sweeping onto it. Honey over the top. Motlop. Can he pop it over? Stuck in the tackle by Battle. Ball still alive. Curnow. Charlie. Across the face.
Wow.
It's an awesome piece of play. Battle's ability to try and put pressure on and tackle Motlop, and then Motlop's ability to stay strong and keep the ball alive.
What about the carnage that Charlie Curnow leaves behind him when he goes for the contested mark? It is amazing. Here's Owens. Getting it down the ground. Won't be penalised that. Gresham was close. And this is what I mean. Just the crunch Mackay it was. The carnage he leaves behind is unbelievable.
Stocker just landed on his back. That's a big change by St Kilda at half-time, though, to put Sinclair into the centre bounces now. He's playing as a midfielder in this second half. It points to the fact that they're a little bit concerned about their ball movement around the stoppages, the Saints.
This is where they look so dangerous. Owens, Hill, Higgins clever. Wood wants his left boot. Scrambled down by Curnow. Floating ball to the line. Through the hands of Butler. And McGovern backs it over.
Clear the area, clear the area.
Enormous pressure on both these teams.
Quickly back in by McGovern. His kick is really wide, but Cripps takes the mark.
Stand.
Some huge numbers stacking up against this guy's name.
Stand.
Sideways ball to Cincotta. The blend of fast and slow in this game has been terrific from both sides. Newman now in front of the interchange area. Tries to get it back inside to Walsh. Howard worked the angle. On to Hill. He can give a sideways handball to Burns. Burns has got Gresham on, but goes the kick to Butler. Butler plays on as well. Likes what he sees in the one-on-one in the goal square. Membry with the one hand. Couldn't get it. I think he might have got it. Owens, did he? I think he might have got boot to ball. Unless he was trying to con.
I believe it's a goal. We just checked that the last touch was off the attacker's boot. Score review. Umpire scores a goal. Please check which boot it came off.
Oh, I think it's a goal. Yep, the bottom of the boot. He's gone with the bottom of the boot, Owens. He knew straight away.
Oh, he's just kissed that with the rubber sole of his boot,
Review
hasn't he?
complete. Looking at this angle, we can see the ball came off the St Kilda attacker's boot before crossing the goal line.
And the goal for
Decision
goal
on
nature
goal.
of this game continues. It's at 9 goals now, where it's been the goal-for-goal pattern. I know it's not the same as the Geelong St Kilda goal game I crack on about in 2009, Tim, but it's just got vibes of that. They're not quite at that level of football, these two teams, but it's got the vibe and feel of that.
It has. Every person that's here this afternoon is right into this game. A big crowd. There's the interception there by Howard, just coming off his direct opponent. Poor kick there by Nick Newman. And then they had the numbers that were out and running. They had the overlap. And just the finish.
10th lead change. Walsh worked his man inside the stoppage, but Hewitt's handball picked up by Hill. Now to Marshall. Sinks the boot in order. It's off the side of the boot. Young off his chest. Has some support. Handball not great for Hollins, so he'll have to retreat. More pressure on Newman. He's run down from behind. Saints hunting here. Steele. He's taken down by Cripps.
He's just been a step off the pace, hasn't he, Jack Steele?
Stand.
It's been a hot game to come into.
Oh, it's been a terribly hot game for him to come into, but he's really feeling it out there.
Ollie Hollins, what a first-year player he's been.
He's brave to be back. 3 weeks with a collarbone, Tim.
Yes, he is. He is. He's got a great capacity to work his way into games, though, too, Jack Steele. Such a competitive bloke.
Young goes to Pitternet and Curnow. Pitternet off his hands. Durden didn't take it cleanly. Wanganeen-Milera in over the top with Durden. And a stoppage. There's Jack Steele. What a warrior he is for the Saints.
I reckon you'd still be in a sling walking down the main street of Wonthaggi somewhere, Tim, if it was you with the collarbone 3 weeks later.
I'd be off work for 6 months.
Unbelievable, these guys. Their recovery powers. Walsh, Cripps, that combination will go forever. Cripps again, flicks it out, finds an opportunity there with Chincotta. They flick it around like it's just a game of ping pong. Eventually Hollands gets boot on ball. Curnow wants to wheel and go. He always wheels and go. Now Silvani's got the one-on-one here. He did well with the spoil. Back inside. Got to go, Burns did. Got crunched in the tackle. And now Hill to relieve pressure for the Saints.
Gee, the Adler kick's important today. And that one finds Crouch.
Gee, they've kept Wilkie occupied this afternoon, haven't they? He hasn't taken one intercept mark this afternoon.
Came in having 20 in the last 3 weeks, which is staggering numbers. Cordy inside 50. Arriving late was Young, just in time. Got it away from Marshall. Akers uncertain of his options. Pitternet, look out. Just with strength, busted through the tackle. Akers just beats the Hill tackle. Outside of the boot was Clever, and that'll be 50. Wilkie just arrived a step late. And Jack Silvani will be 20 metres out from goal.
I'm not sure about that. I think that was very clever by Jack Silvani there.
If the ball hadn't have come out of the arm, no way.
They're at a premium too, aren't they, goals this afternoon?
This to put the Blues back in front.
What we missed in all of that was how good Akers' kick was to Silvani.
Fashioned it off the outside of his boot. Jack now for the finish.
Or lack of.
That's a let-off. A let-off.
Carlton 4-5 from set shots today. Stocker. Young with the spoil. Crouch. Hill. Kept the ball alive. Did really well. Back inside it came from Filippo. Beautiful half volley pickup by Chera. The give and go impressive, and the low bullet even more impressive. Charlie had the fumble, so man on the mark stays there. Brad Hill realised quickly, gave it back off here to Chincotta. He straightens it up. This is a good-looking ball, but read it well. Mason Wood come from a long way away to intercept.
That is great play by your wingman. That's exactly what you want them to do. They work up and down the ground. They've got to provide that extra number in defence and take those intercept marks. Wonderful play from him. He came from a long way away, just read the play beautifully.
Players on both teams just catch their breath as Hunter Clark assesses the options. Filippo will come in from the side, can't complete it. Newman, Curnow taken down by Filippo. Nowhere to go, no prior opportunity, ball up.
That's a win for the Blues. Their inability to be able to stop the Saints going end to end is really the only avenue the Saints have had to goal for the whole day.
Owens in the ruck against Young. Filippo tries to muscle his way through.
Tackle. St.Kilda.
Earns himself a free kick in the process.
Stand. Come on.
Another talented first-year player in this game. Off to Brad Hill. Membry looks around, assesses the competition. Arriving was Kennedy against Sinclair. Higgins, Sinclair, creative.
Well, that's the danger with him now for Carlton anyway, because he's done so much great work in the back half. Now he's gone into the midfield going forward. His ability to be able to provide a goal assist, but they've actually fixed up their other part of their game that was way below where they needed to be in the first half. Contested possession 13-all, clearances 3-all. So that's a much better result for St Kilda.
He's kicked 16-3 in his career, Zane Cordy. Hasn't spent a lot of time forward, but maybe he should.
This is so great, isn't it, to have somebody in your forward line who gets the ball like that and then just makes the right decision under that sort of pressure. I mean, some players can panic in that situation or they can miss the execution, but Sinclair is just an outstanding player.
Sam Cordy played as a defensive forward in the Bulldogs premiership in 2016, spent a lot of his career down back.
And it's this kind of play that elevates players from good to great, their ability to be able to just make the right decision and execute under pressure. They're so valuable in the team, and Sinclair's one of those. In a clutch moment, finds the right target.
Cordy's done all that in his career, Tim, and he's only 26 years of age. You get the feeling he's about 30. Sinclair again, here he is again, banged it on the boot of steel, goes forward, opportunity out the back door, Newman. Weepering, Kennedy. Overlap from Fisher on his favoured left side here. Brilliant diving smother. He's had a go at diving at a couple of others today, Brad Hill, and hasn't got hands to him. That one he did, so he gets his reward. Wiedering in front, enough pressure from behind. Little hand by Higgins over the top. Free kick will go the other way, I suggest.
It will, but that was a desperate lunge in by Cordy just to cause the spillage. But what about this bit of desperation here from Hill too? They're working in all areas.
I have seen him do that 3 times today. 2 of them weren't successful. Nevertheless, the pressure was there, but that was a beauty.
Wiedering goes long. Wilkie arrives late. Patton, good tackle from Motlop. Prevented him getting the hands free. Owens nowhere to go. Cripps has got him.
See how the Saints have rectified the contest clearance. It's really putting the Blues under pressure because they've also got the added ability to be able to take the footy end to end.
Bye goes down. Ross. Newman will come across and belt it to the line. Patrick Cripps comes off for a spell. He's up to 27 possessions. Walsh 25, Chera 24. There's a bunch of Saints watching on.
Just at ground level, guys, there's just so many 1%ers getting done by both teams. I think this game's going to come down to the wire.
Thing I notice about, or come back to you, Jose.
Sinclair goes inside 50, and here's Cordy again.
He is a super player, Sinclair. Like the impact he's had in this third quarter because he's gone onto the ball has been outstanding. Lowered his eyes then. He's good pick up at ground level
in
too.
round 16 last year against the Blues, 37 touches, 4 rebound 50s, 6 inside 50s and 3 Brownlow votes, and he's carving it up again this afternoon. We've spoken about Cordy's finishing. It's not going to quite get there.
Sinclair, just to highlight efficiency, he's going 93% by foot. Off 15 kicks, sorry.
I know the margin's only 8 points here, Nate. Do you feel like Carlton are just under a bit of pressure here at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely, I do. I think we've touched on it a little bit. The Saints have rectified some of the areas that Carlton had got right on top of them with. And, you know, I think the Blues, the scary thing for them is just their inability to be able to, in a phase of play like this, penetrate the St Kilda defence.
Newman. Easy little ball here for the presenter from Ed Curnow. He's told to go, so Curnow just plays within his capabilities, and you love that about him, to Fisher. Fisher to Mackay.
Okay, so now Marshall's been able to get down there deep into defensive position for the Saints to help out their undersized tools.
Short again to Kennedy, so 4 or 5 shorts in a row here. You have to go behind the mark here.
So the St Kilda defence in this phase of play are just trying to entice the Blues to just bite off a little bit more than they can chew and hopefully create an intercept.
Share a wide if he wants him, but he wants to straighten it up a little and finds Walsh. So it's a patient, slow, methodical, accurate build up so far.
They're just collapsing back down, St Kilda.
Every St Kilda player, bar 2, inside this defensive 50 area. Every St Kilda player, bar 2, and somehow Mackay takes the mark. What about that?
That was a fair grab.
16 St Kilda players in this region.
Thank you.
There was a little hole of space deep in that pocket, and that's exactly where we're at. This should be a fairly regulation kick for somebody of his stature in the game.
Yeah.
And on his left foot as well.
And he prefers to do this style of kick. Nurses it around the corner, almost slid behind the post. Jono, what have you making of this game so far?
Well, it's one of those games, BT, where every contest is really going to hang on the end of the game, because at the moment we've got guys smothering, we've got guys going third up, killing the ball. There's all 1%ers, as we've just seen now.
And Mackay will have another opportunity from a similar spot.
Stand here, please.
Maybe just a touch further out, which might result in the drop punt. You know, he's going to run around. And then, well, words escape us. Might still work for the Blues. Ross gets into the back. Fisher just getting the back of Ross.
That was the worst result that could possibly get from that kick, though.
Because he had no depth on it, Tim.
Absolutely. Went to the dangerous turnover part of the ground.
Look at the transfer to Hill. Couldn't get it in the air. Newman has to spin and Perrin out of trouble. Wiedering got a dashing handball to Chincotta. They come on the rampage again. Will they stop and go slow, or do they keep going here? Can they get it over the top? Well done here by Wanganeen-Milera. Did brilliantly. Little left footer to Brad Hill. He will like to wheel and go. Shoots off the handball to the left-footed Mason Wood. Sends it long and deep. Got the advantage here, the Saints. Cordy was in good position. Couldn't get hold of it. Got a battle on here. Burns. Little handball. Cordy didn't know where it was. And the fumble by McGovern was just in time.
And that's the thing. That phase of play is what troubled Carlton all day. St Kilda's ability to swiftly take the footy end to end. Off the back of that shank.
Squared it to the corridor. Phillippo. Membry wrapped up by Pitternet. Tries to get it to Ross, who puts the head down but can't drive his legs through the Hewitt tackle. Saints by 7 points. Feels like they're just in control right now. Steele. Ross, be pressured to the line by Cowan, and the ball trickles out.
The other important factor in a game as tight as this is just taking your opportunities, and Mackay's two misses in a row would stem sort of that momentum that St Kilda has.
The Blues 4-5 from set shots this afternoon tells that story. Ross gives it to Burns. Inside 50 again, Butler lurking. Now lays a tackle. And is rewarded.
Dragged it in. Right through.
And at what stage does the little man on Harry's shoulder start to talk to him and make life even more difficult for him when he's going back having a shot for goal?
Well, I think the fact that he didn't take long to do it last time, Tim, is he's slightly embarrassed and he just wants to get on with it. You know, because he's lost all confidence in it. And that does happen.
It happens. It does.
So Dan Butler, 2 goals in the second term.
No 30-second clock is what he was talking about on the video there, so he didn't know how long he had.
Significant kick.
Second clock in set shot goal kicking used to be a big thing. We don't even mention it now, do we? In fact, I don't think they even bother putting it up anymore, wasting everyone's time. So St Kilda by 8. This is the biggest margin of the game. St Kilda having a really good patch. Little handball back inside, Patton involved. Now Brad Hill is a sharpshooter, and he's just an arrow when he gets hold of it in a situation like that.
That was exquisite, though, the way he pulled his kick then.
Yep.
He lowered his eyes. His first option was to look up, maybe go deep. Lowers his eyes there.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful kick.
He's just so good. He's got to be one of the best in the competition, Brad Hill. So Higgins now needs to be inside left goal post. And he is that. Superb. Goes to the crowd and says, I know what I'm doing. Three consecutive goals for the Saints, 14-point lead for them.
You've got to admire the way they're creatively getting their goals, St Kilda, because they don't have the big tall forwards. They don't have the dominant forwards like Carlton do at the other end of the ground. You know, they've got Curnow, they've got Silvani, and they've also got Mackay at their end of the ground. really their key forward has been Membry, but he's more of a mid-sized forward anyway, but their ground level players have just been really busy. There's that quick handball, then the feed out again to Hill, lowers the eyes, hits the target, and he's their #1 goal scorer this year, Jack Higgins. Busy player, good hands, good at ground level, clever, smart forward.
14-point margin. Can the Blues respond here? Feels bigger than that, doesn't it? Such a tight game. Sinclair over the top of Chera.
There's no doubt in my mind, Ross Lyon said, OK, boys, here's the whiteboard, here's the contested possession in the first half. We have to improve that part of our game before we can move past this Carlton side. That's exactly what they've responded to.
So turnover's the same number, but St Kilda have taken full toll. 6 goals to 2 off the turnover today. Ball to forward 50 for the Blues. Durden puts his head over it. Clark wraps him up immediately.
Just for context on your point, Tim, they lead contested possession. The Saints, that is 26-19 and 8-4 in clearance.
Pitternet down to Chera. Silvani front position against Patton. He gets over the back. Silvani still involved. Clark takes him down from behind. Ball still there.
Disposal, St Kilda.
And the Saints will get an opportunity to clear it. Jack Silvani saw.
Jack, stand there for me.
The umpire that actually made that decision was the umpire at centre-half forward.
Well, that's why we've got 4 of them out there, Tim. They're all got whistles and they can blow at any time. Oh, Gresham. Here we go with Membry. Little slipper ball inside to Dan Butler. And he loves these. He's acting like he's tempted, but he's a pro and he knows he's got to kick it. This for 4 St Kilda goals in a row to rip what has been a close game wide open. This will be a 20-point margin.
The Saints so good at taking the ball end to end again, and that there's no sort of prescriptive way in which they do it. That was a soccer off the ground, but they take territory and they come at you fast on offense, and that's what creates, you know, an open forward line and opportunities like this.
35 metres, there he is. For 3 goals to Dan Butler and a St Kilda lead of 20 points.
Well, that was another turnover goal for the Saints, so that's 7 now, but the response has to come from Carlton. OK, well, the game has changed. You're losing the contested possession. You're not winning the clearances. It goes back to your leaders. You know, the Paddy Cripps, who was so great, and Kennedy, and you got these guys. They've got the power in the mid section of the ground. What can they do now in response?
So what do you think, Nath? Well, Carlton right now, they're being challenged, 20 points adrift. They don't want to let it get out of hand. Is there anything they can do, even temporarily?
It's around, you know, winning contests, winning clearance, and then when they do actually get the ball in their hands, they need to get the ball into their forward half, take territory off the Saints, and own field position.
They get the clearance this time through Hewitt, received the tap from Pitternet. Coming out to meet it full-chested was Honey. Hollins floats the kick. Cripps has got to come across Sinclair and does.
Stand.
Thought about the quick give. Now he'll cut inside. Chips inside 50. Mackay in the front position. Off his hands. Saints have got numbers. Marshall throws it on the boot. Pitternet comes back. Newman attacked it. Flipped it to Chincotta. Hollins. Chincotta. Touched off his boot. Through some hands. Gets to the back of the contest. Steele committed the body as per usual. Howard, good tackle. Motlop.
See, even then with the Motlop tackle, I reckon in a little way Howard almost flexed the head to try and make it contact the dirt. I mean, I don't like to say that, Tim, but I don't know. What do you think? Is it a dangerous tackle or not?
I don't think that one's a dangerous tackle.
No, I don't either. Even though the head hit the ground, I think it hit voluntarily. There's Sinclair. Burns. Stocker. Wood. Back to Burns. Silvani long chase. Did well, cornered him, but he got it away to dynamic Dan Butler.
How good his hands, Dan Butler. But that wasn't an easy mark.
The Saints on the tear, just so hard to stop when they burst from half back. This time it's Ross to go slow. Blues get numbers back inside the last 2 minutes. Can Carlton hold here? Wanganeen-Milera. Great presentation from Owens. He's got Wilkie floating forward. And when they get on the spread, they are carving Carlton up.
Have a look at that. The signs.
Kel Wilkie.
This is the stress test that we talked about pre-game with Rock. Mate, just test you in all areas of the game for the full 4 quarters. And that's exactly what they're doing now to Carlton. They're asking him a huge question of them now.
Game 91 for Kel Wilkie. His only goal, round 3, 2022 against Richmond. And so it will remain.
Just a question, Tim. That power button that Carlton, St Kilda are holding up on the bench, I think it was. Does that mean power on or power off?
At this stage of the game, I would think it's power off.
On the Carlton bench, that one.
Stand. Carlton bench, was it?
Maybe a power down, standby mode.
Yeah, it's
shut it down.
Touch, you, play on.
Maybe turn it off and back on again. I don't know.
Maybe in this turn.
There we go, Cowan. Clark. Run down is Steele. Desperate, the Blues. Sinclair, he's found every option except this one. Motlop clearing ball. 30 seconds left. Howard's going to go again. He says we haven't had enough yet. So he bangs it back inside 50. Who can get hold of this for the Saints? No one. The Blues live to fight another day, perhaps.
13 seconds still to navigate.
It was interesting then, after Howard took off, a couple of the St Kilda players said, hang on, steady down, steady down. We're not charging at this stage of the quarter.
What a turn from St Kilda. Gresham has looked dangerous. Final passage of play for the term. Marshall. Cripps needs to release and does. Off to Walsh. 5 goals to 1 in that third term. St Kilda taking control of the game. They've come from 4 points down and turned that into a 21-point advantage. It's St Kilda 11-7, 73. Carlton 7-10, 52. Chris Johnson, boundary side.
Yeah, there's been an update on the sub for Carlton's. Lockie O'Brien's coming to the team. For Ed Curnow has been subbed out.
Thanks, Jono. Blues looking for some extra run in this final term. They need it. They trail by 21 points. Here's BT.
Nathan Williamson with a superb bounce of the footy in the middle gets us underway. Cripps, Mason Wood, Fisher. Through traffic, need a fast start. Chera.
Carlton.
And they're going to get a free. I think it's Curnow, is it? Or Silvani. Silvani it is. Done this a couple of times in the game. 2 or 3 times given away frees for the hold. Huge kick.
Massive kick.
Yeah, and we'll see, but huge kick. This for the Blues. A little bit of angle about it. Distance not a problem. Needs to nail it, and he has. Magnificent strike of the footy from Silvani. That is what the doctor ordered. Confidence lifter for the Blues. Margin trimmer, obviously. Got to believe at this stage.
Just watch this. The holding there from Wilkie, bottom right-hand screen. Not a lot in it, but enough for the umpire to blow his whistle. That's been the matchup all day. We thought that Wilkie might have gone to one of the other tools, Curnow or Mackay, but Silvani has had him locked away all day.
Ideal start to the final term for the Blues. Ross wins this clearance for St Kilda. McGovern goes back with the flight, takes possession, immediately tackled by Membry.
They just needed to string a couple of centre bounce clearances together, the Blues.
10.
Can they regain that clearance dominance? Here's Walsh. Akers has to be quick. Pressure came from Sinclair. Gresham, can he get away from Cripps? Got the hands free. Wiedering left it behind. Hill so clean. Sweeps through. Crouch. Pitternet calls everyone out. Takes the grab.
Pitternet slides it to Young. Can they get out of this massive stranglehold that the Saints apply? Not this time, they can't, because Mason Wood and Dan Butler were there to fight for their lives. And they keep it alive. What about that? Incredible stuff. Now they get a look at the face of the goal. Gresham with a high ball. Newman. Can the Blues keep going here with Fisher?
Takes off. Now uncertain of his options. Where's he going to go? Retreats by hand. Newman, he's uncertain as well. This has got a bad vibe for Carlton here. Coming through is Burns. Saints lining up across the middle to use it. Crouch delivers inside 50. Carlton have got the numbers here, and Cowan comes over the top. Carlton's ball movement, you mentioned, Tim. St Kilda test you in all aspects. That's what's being tested right now.
Right now, and have they got the run in their legs, Carlton? Have they got the ability to be able to really push and punish St Kilda on turnover?
Hollins goes towards Silvani over the back. Maybe here a chance for Durden. Can look up what's he got in front of him. A one-on-one. Goes to Curnow. Can't collect it at ground level. And Battle flips it. Patton retreats. Ross. Clark. And the Saints can build from half-back again.
They can. Attempted spoil by McGovern. It got out the back and it shouldn't get there. They come forward once again. Wiedering might get back. Or will he? No, he won't. So the Saints back out to a 21-point lead. Owens the goal kicker.
We see a beautiful intercept there by Wood. Loved his use of hands. And a beautiful long finish. But the Saints' ability to be able to go back at you, it's fundamentally the difference between the two styles on offence.
Hold in, Carlton.
8 goals to 2 on turnover today with a similar number of turnovers. It's just St Kilda have punished them. Chera to Walsh. Goes wide for Curnow. Spoils from the back. Wood. Battle needs to be quick. Release the handball. Smothered off the boot of Patton. Fisher in there scrapping. Ball beats Hollins. Walsh taken down. Good tackle.
Holding the ball, St Kilda.
Don't you want your big man doing that at ground level like Marshall just did then?
Yeah, it was a real statement, wasn't it?
Away comes Pitternet, does well. Leaves his man, gets across. Belts it to the line. Here's another look at that. Rowan Marshall sticking the tackle on Sam Walsh.
That's as good a tackle as you'll see.
Yeah, Walsh thought he was going to get the arm out there, but it was locked in nice and tight by Rowan Marshall.
Right contact, St Kilda.
Got himself a free here.
Time back on, stand.
Going to take something special from the Blues to get back into this. Marshall taking the short way home. Young elevated, got hands on it for an uncontested, but couldn't reel it in. Hill gets it to Membry. Membry from 48 across the face.
Hill has been electric around the contest too.
Kennedy with the kick in. Short and slow. Hasn't really worked for the Blues. Do they be bold and switch it up? Fisher. Mackay, good strong hands in front of Howard.
3 metres back. Keep coming, 3 metres.
Yep, 50. Correct call. He asked him 3 times.
Move out.
They haven't wanted to pull the
He
trigger.
could have been clearer, could he, down by then?
Haven't wanted to pull the trigger on their ball movement today, Nate. Do you feel like they should a little bit now?
Well, I'd love to see them go a little bit more direct, even in that passage of play. As Mackay finds Fisher, in that passage of play when he took the mark. He had Pitnet down the line in a one-on-one. Just go to him quickly and take the territory.
Fisher, pressure came from behind, affected the kick. It'll drop in a dangerous position. O'Brien front and centre. Durden in there trying to work hard. Can the Blues at least lock it in and force a stoppage? O'Brien, kick smothered, ricochets to Wood. Out to Clark, leaves it behind. Holland's in there scrapping. Throw it in.
Well, it's just really important now that they are able to lock the ball in and conjure up a shot at goal here from this stoppage.
A little unlucky, Hollands. I don't reckon he ever had control of the footy then. Marshall, Walsh, Shearer, Hollands.
Thank you. Rowan.
Who's going to move through this stoppage quickly? That's what they need to be able to do here, the Blues.
Who's on the run? Durden was there, but not really mobile. Let's see in this stoppage. In fact, we won't get one now. Saints are going to, we will now. See if you can pick a player here, Jonesy, who you think should be on the move.
They've still got their sub up their sleeve too, St Kilda, Windhager.
Knocked down here to Fisher. Finds a bit of space here for Chincotta. Newman ducks under the tackle. Messing around with it now. Going backwards. Losing territory. Weetering. Got to come forward. St Kilda coming at them. Hill. Now they get a look to go forward, the Blues. A high ball. Silvani there. Couldn't mark. Off hands it comes. Picked up by Mackay. His handball was smothered. Now Silvani will be bundled over the line, but he gets a free. He's kicked a big goal already in this quarter. And this one's going to have to be a run around right foot snap or a drop punt. So this will give him time to think about it.
That's a great call, BT. The way that St Kilda forced them back and back. They started at half forward. They ended up on the wing position. And then they actually had to find a way back forward. There you see the tackle just too high there from Crouch. Definitely a free kick. And Jack's had plenty of time to work out exactly what he's going to do here.
That's why it's so valuable in terms of taking territory off the team. You see, you invite the pressure with the handballs by retreating, and St Kilda took 50 metres off you in defence.
A couple of people getting angry about people standing up in front of them, and see that gentleman politely ask the person to sit down, because he doesn't want to miss this action of what Silvani is about to supply here. So the play on complete. It's bending early.
Margin of 21. Wanganeen-Milera up the middle to Sinclair and changed the game in the third. Now Howard. The Saints work it out from half back again. This is Stocker. Goes down the line for Philippou through the hands of Cowan. McGovern, Hewitt, Hollands. Can Fisher get across and at least force a contest in the air? He can't. Got across, but couldn't get it to ground. And Howard. A reset here for the Saints. There's Kel Wilkie getting that chin attended to. Dougal Howard having some trouble getting the boot back on. Getting some advice from the Carlton faithful.
Oh, he's taking it off.
Was the only option. Pitternet to the front. McGovern almost spoiled him. In fact, did get it to ground in the end. Gresham, Burns towards half forward. Owens tries to get rid of Young, and Wiedering belts it out.
Been on top of the ladder for the past 3 weeks. They've never missed the finals in any season. That they have spent 3 consecutive weeks on the top of the ladder, and that's where the Saints are right at this moment. So go and buy your tickets if they continue on here, the Saints. That's the message there. Throw by Cripps.
They're just going to find a way now, Carlton, to put some pace into this game. It's hard at this stage of the game, hard running quarter, playing against one of the best running teams in the competition, but they've just got to be brave with their use of the ball.
Akers and Newman.
Here they go.
Can they go now? There's the sub, Lockie O'Brien. Silvani offers him something he ignores, and so he's told to play on. Man of the mark hasn't heard the play on call. Now they squirted across the face of goal, so they're living dangerously here at the moment. Gee, the Akers kick has got to be good, and so does Cripps. Cripps is going to have to beat 2 of them. He looks for some help around the back. There wasn't much there. The 3-on-2 beats them in the end. St Kilda win the footy. Marshall even sells a little bit there on Walsh, and he swallowed. McGovern.
Well, that was a great thing about the work rate then of St Kilda. They outnumbered Carlton on the far side of the ground, and when they came to the near side of the ground, they outnumbered them again. I mean, that's just a great illustration of their capacity to run the width of the ground.
They're a fit team. They're incredibly well disciplined and well drilled. Very hard to break down. We said at the start of the day, the average score against the Saints this season is 59 points. Well, look where Carlton are right now. O'Brien's kick is poor.
And that's what the pressure forces you to do.
On the line. On the line. Outside 10.
30 touches this season for Lockie O'Brien, 10 of those clangers. Kick goes inside 50. Young stands tall, takes the grab.
Look at the slow ball movement again, though, from deep in your defence.
Look at the Saints set up there in that picture. Organised. How organised are they? Silvani. Can they get it over the top and out the back? Sam Walsh just pulled up. Goes backwards. Crowd getting frustrated with the Blues. But don't worry about this. Got a lot to do with the organisation of the Saints. Transition defence. Middle of the ground, Hewitt. Got the little one off here to Chincotta. He's run down. Pounded into the ground. And the Saints are going to get the opportunity to get it and go. Sinclair gets it inside. Little pokey ball. Mason Wood goes down low. Picked up by Akers. Got to take him on. He does. Wiedering, touch ball.
O'Brien, he's got Walsh in a little bit of space. He'll look down the line. He's got Curnow in a one-on-one. Will head in that direction. Charlie being held.
Holding Carlton.
Almost a professional free kick there from Battle. He knew Charlie was going to get goal side.
Over here, thank you.
Let's head boundary side to Jono.
Yeah, Marcus Weinhager's entered the game for Zane Cordy to play no further part.
So some extra run for the Saints.
Play on.
Curnow chips the kick towards Chera. He'll end up getting it in the end. Off to Akers. Floats a high kick towards the square. Mackay in from the side. Motlop there. Ball pings around. Hollins tries to paddle to advantage. Swings it back inside to Hewitt, who's driven in a tackle by Hill. Still there. Out of bounds as Hollins squared up to snap at goal.
That would have been something if Hollins was allowed to go then. That was fancy footwork. Definitely out of bounds. Good call by the umpire.
Hill just letting go of the tackle right at the end too.
So Carlton have worked unbelievably hard to get this opportunity. Hollins misses badly to the right.
So 19 scoring shots to 20. And that one out of bounds on the full. So they've created the opportunities, Tim.
They have, and they're going to take them now when they go forward like that. They've got to get the ball there more often and quicker, though, Carlton, if they possibly can. And they've got to take those risks where they kick the ball back into the corridor and risk losing the ball, but they've got to give themselves an opportunity of winning the game.
Chincotta, Wiedering, Kennedy. Spears it low for Hollins. Couldn't quite complete the grab. Well done, Seb Ross. Been really good today. And that is a delicate kick down the line to Marshall. Beautifully done from Ross, who leads the game for the Saints with 23 and 50 against Matt Kennedy.
You can't try and cut off the angle. I've called you to stand. You can't come in and cut off the angle. Down to that umpire, please.
There's the explanation. He took a step inside.
Gee, Kennedy needs to get out of the way or he's going to give another 50 here. He is so close to giving away another 50.
Rowan Marshall calls his shot, says, I'm going to thump it long.
He could just about have the distance in Marshall.
Yeah, if he hits it sweetly, he's got some power. Winds up. And in the process, no problem with the journey.
Oh, he's launched that.
He can thump a football.
Inside 50s this quarter, 10 for the Saints. going to have to reverse that in the next 9 minutes here, the Blues, to have any chance at all. It's fading by the minute. Fisher,
that's it.
Wanted it back, trying to create some run. Durden won't get it, out of bounds on the full.
They had the right idea there to get that overlap and get some run. I mean, the execution wasn't quite right, but that's what they need to do. They need to test St Kilda on every rebound they possibly get, the Blues.
Saints are looking to get it out of the far side. Blues had a bit of a mix-up on their interchange. Akers went to the bench and they weren't ready for him. Opportunity here now with Filippo. Just happy to get it in there and compete and hold it there at the moment. The Saints off hands. It comes to Walsh. Akers sets up Walsh again. Walsh goes wide and finds McKay. Not much forward of him though.
Looks inside. Shinkona. Run from behind is Walsh. Just perpetual motion. That kick wide. Pitch is just inside the line. So, Tim, you know, every other club's going to be sitting here breaking down the video of this St Kilda system. Everyone realises at some point they're going to get their turn.
Well, it's one thing to know what to do. It's another to be able to do it for 4 quarters of football. I mean, even Collingwood last week, I mean, that was a great example of the running capacity of both teams. And in the end, the Saints came back and almost forced a draw.
Ross Lyon. Game number 127 as St Kilda coach this afternoon, moves past Alan Richardson. Second all-time now for St Kilda behind the great Yabby Jeans. Winhager to Ross. Chera's been good, comes forward to meet it. Akers, the power of work to do as a defensive winger today. Young had to be quick. Chera, Walsh. 38th touch for Sam Walsh. Bounces towards Mackay and out.
How hard is he still working, Jonesy?
He's a freak runner. His ability to just go from contest to contest, not many could match him. Just needs a few more mates.
Hit net. Cripps.
Throw. St Kilda.
St Kilda.
Gee, they've gone to work on him since half-time too, haven't they, the Saints? I mean, that's the second time this quarter he's been called for throwing, but he was getting his hands on the ball in that second quarter around the stoppages and causing havoc.
Play on.
Steele just with a bit of conservatism, going very wide near the boundary. Newman. Pitnet needs to tap and does to Hewitt. Akers. Silvani should get around, no problems. Just got a little nudge when he went to kick the footy. Put him off a little. Burns. Sinclair.
Chips it into the middle for Gresham. Their little men have just done so much damage today. Hunter Clark. Ross comes cruising past. Clark thought about the give. Instead, he'll attack the goal square. 2-on-2 in the air. Membry. Socket off the ground, Winhager. And that's out of bounds on the full, I think, off Akers, is it? It is.
It's off him. Free.
Marcus Winhager will get the shot.
Right, stand here.
Unfortunate for Blake Akers.
Time on.
Marcus Winhager, the sub.
Stand.
Broke his hand in a practice game. Missed the opening round.
Hold there.
Worked his way back into the team. Such a young talent. Thups it off the post.
Whether it's by design and specifically being set, or Jack Steele's just taken it upon himself, with that matchup, him versus Cripps, he's really sweating on him at stoppage and affecting his influence, as you said. You know, albeit Steele hasn't necessarily, you know, gathered the huge amount of possession, he has done a terrific team job.
Wanganeen-Milera. Almost. Clark. Walsh, who's tried to get some run going here. Akers. Charlie Curnow now. And Battle working the angles nicely.
Play on, play on, play on, play on.
Neat little ball. I know you didn't ask me, Tim, but if you did ask me to sum up St Kilda, I would say organised. I would say all improved individually, which equals team better performance. and I would say enjoyment. Thanks for asking.
I wish I had have asked you that question.
Ross.
He's been good.
Looks it forward. Higgins' handball misses the target. Clark. There's Seb Ross again. 24th touch. To Sinclair. They've been tidy with the football today, St Kilda. More tidy than Carlton. Howard. Swings it wide. Wilkie. Back inside to Patton.
That's a really good point you made, Jonesy, about Steele too. You know, to be able to go to your leader, your captain, and give him an assignment in the second half and say, OK, you're not having your best day. This is what we want you to do in the second half. We want you to make it as difficult as you possibly can for their best midfielder in Cripps, and he's been able to do that.
Phillippo almost. Chera. Newman. Wide, and here's Cripps. Looks up. Will cut it inboard. Honey's going to have to stand and wait. Does. Turns and goes. Curnow underneath this one. Battle arrives. Hewitt can pop it over the top. Hollands now gets some space. He's got Mackay. Heads in that direction. Good effort there from Patton. Got across. Broke it up.
Just the work rate from the Saints there. I think they're 4 or 5 to 2 back there.
Kick a little long. A lot of people starting to vacate the arena. I suspect somewhere between 45 and 50,000 here today.
It's been a really solid, complete performance from St Kilda in the second half. Carlton needed to get a run. They needed momentum in this final quarter. They scored the first goal, but they just haven't been able to build anything.
Honey. Whitish day for him. I think that's his 5th or 6th possession there, Honey.
I think what it really highlights to me is, you know, how complete you need to be to compete at the top, and the Saints have got a game style that stacks up in all phases of the game, both on offense, on defense, multi-pronged in attack, and their ability to be able to score.
You can tell the players believe in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Carlton's strength is those midfielders between Walsh, Chera, Akers and Cripps. They've had 140 possessions between the 4 of them, and the Saints lead by 22 points. Hollands. Such is their system, it's held up today. Honey, Chera gets another touch. Turns it over to Battle. Out to Steele.
Outside 5. Play on. Stand.
Short to Wilkie. Seems to be great clarity around roles about when to go fast, when to go slow. All those fundamentals, Tim, that we can overlook so easily. They look to be on the same page. They'll get another opportunity here. Clark just thumps it long. McGovern has to track back. Membry with the sit. Gains at ground level. Pumps a handball forward. Higgins doesn't quite hit the finish. And O'Brien in the defensive goal square. Retreats. Still hasn't walked it out. In the end, clears it to Curnow.
So Curnow now. Silvani. Back to Curnow. Long handball to Durden. And wide. The Saints, I think, have got West Coast next week, have they, Jace? Over in Perth, I think.
Port Adelaide next
Port
week.
Adelaide, sorry.
Yep. Blues have got West Coast
Blues
in
have
Perth.
got West Coast in Perth. So a chance for them. There is Steele. Akers. Hewitt. Mackay. Dropping a lace-outer. And that was clearly out of bounds. It actually had a full bounce out of bounds. It was.
We talked about their defensive efforts this year. St Kilda, Carlton on 60 points. What's the average? 59.
59. Yep. Bang on. And they look to be motoring towards it in the first half, Tim.
They did.
Just been shut down by this miserly St Kilda system. Great example today of a system standing up against individual talent and brilliance.
They work so hard for each other.
Marshall. Steele. Out to Crouch. A fumble.
Yeah, well, if you didn't believe in them before, you should believe in them now. They legitimately are the complete package. They're the real deal. With the style of footy they play, it stacks up against any opposition at their best.
It's been a great start with a hefty injury list, it must be said. The Blues have got a hefty injury list too. Crouch, Hewitt, Akers, Honey, he's stripped of it. Burns. Back towards the wing, Membry, Wiedering, ripped off it. Chera sweeps a handball inside. McGovern squares it up. Newman, can he hit a target inside 50? Mackay in from the side. Motlop, Howard. And once again, the Saints defence stand tall.
So the Saints, like they did last year, are going to start their season 5-1. Top of the ladder position for them. Battle. Shot the ball to Wood. But they are playing some fantastic footy. They've got the absolute perfect mix of fast, slow, when to do either. So it's exciting to watch for their fans as well. Now over the back is Hollins. Wiedering and now Chera. St Kilda win. They beat the Blues. 22 points. A huge win for the St Kilda Footy Club. They are playing inspired football under their coach Ross Lyon and their leadership group as well. It's fantastic to watch. Their supporters are loving it. And now the question is, I guess, these fans will be hoping that they can hold it all together from here on in. Dan Butler, another fantastic game for him, 3 goals today. Welcome back their skipper, of course. And look at the ladder. Magnificent percentage as well. Let's go down to Chris Johnson. Take it away, Jono.
Thanks, BT. Jack, congratulations, mate. You've gone from the defence into the midfield to turn this game around.
Yeah, a bit of time between both. Yeah, Ross likes to roll a few guys in there, get some leg speed, get on top of the opposition, and yeah, I think it's been working. Just a bit of a different look. I was getting a bit of attention early, so yeah, put me in the midfield and yeah, just let me go.
It's a good move. It looks like the boys are really enjoying their football at the moment, sitting on top of the AFL ladder.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we've turned it around pretty quickly, but we know it's a long year, so not getting ahead of ourselves, but yeah, we're really starting to get some belief in the way we play, and yeah, another great second half tonight. I feel like our back ends of game have been really good, so yeah, really pleased with that effort.
Jack Steele obviously was on Cripper for most of the afternoon, especially in the first half, but another big job for him in the second half to shut him down. Yeah, Cripper got a bit of it early, and yeah, when he was off the ground, him and Seb were off the ground, and yeah, he started firing, so a bit of a danger sign there. But yeah, I think again our second half, attention to detail. Yeah, I feel like we really nullified his influence. But yeah, guys like Crouchy really got him done at centre bounce. You know, you can't really stop him. He's a bloody hard man to stop, but they were on his back and yeah, just affecting his strong hands. So yeah, really good effort from those boys. Well played. Congratulations. Yes, thank you.
The Cats, have they arrived back truly yet? We don't know. They were dreadful in the first 3 weeks. Have they really got back yet? We don't know. And Melbourne are yet to hit their mojo. Essendon, your boy Sarah, they're playing good footy, but they're hardly highly fancied favourites to go all the way. There is no reason why a team like this can't clock up 14 wins, make the top 4 and give it a real good crack.
Next up, Friday night football, they play Port Adelaide. That is the beauty moons.
Well, it is, and coming off a short break too, so that's going to be something we discuss during the week with them. But confidence is everything in this game, Dan. I mean, it really is. And you know, you talk about a team that came into the start of the year that nobody probably gave a hope of even going near the final. But once you get a little bit of confidence up, and we talked about those, you know, who did they play early? but they were winning. And winning form is the best form that you can have in this game. And all of a sudden, you know, you get into round 6 and you're sitting on top of the ladder because your confidence is just sky high.
All right, let's head inside the victorious St Kilda rooms. What a win it was. 22 points, the final margin. Let's listen to the song.
When the Saints go marching in, oh, when the Saints go marching in.